So on this video we're going to talk about lighting, wiring, and transforming strategies. And I had an old transformer from a kit that I didn't need. Malibu used to sell some 10-pack kits for $200 that were quite nice, and I'd often end up with an extra transformer I didn't need. And because of this prominent location, and this being the only outlet in this area that's outside, and I didn't really want to add that big transformer to this already cluttered up wall, I've decided to put the transformer in this little garden shed where there's an outlet right here on the other side of the wall. And that does a couple of things for me, because as a result of using LED lights, that one transformer is going to power the entrance lights over here, the lights all up and down the driveway, running along the side of the driveway. And the challenge is, how do we get both sets of wires to the transformer? And so the shed actually helps with that, because it's not a finished shed, so I can tack electrical wire across the inside of the wall there, and without having to look at it. And then I'm going to drill out using my Bosch hammer drill through that bit of masonry there for these lights. We'll then plug into the transformer. We'll drill out on this side through this masonry, and what I'm going to do is, we've got an existing crack, an expansion joint running all the way along here out to where I need the lights here. So I've brought along my Makita diamond saw, and while I'm on this topic, I used to have a 14-inch diamond saw, and it eventually burnt out. And so I decided, just for an extra $100 or so, to get a 16-inch, because it gives me an extra inch of depth, which can be really critical on a job, because some slabs are as thick as 6 inches. So I think that's well worth it. I'm done, and in a moment we're going to hook up the hose here and run the blade along. And one of the other benefits of LED is I'm able to use quite a thin gauge wire, which will fit even easier into this crack. So that's what we're going to do. So it took about 10 minutes to get the concrete cutter started, but by running in the groove, the nice thing is you don't even see that there's been a new cut. But this has been nicely cleaned out. I'm going to tuck the wire into it, and then I've got a little bit of leftover thin set from a project earlier, and I'm just going to dab that in the hole, and then we'll have this wire across the driveway. There's again another benefit of the LEDs requiring such little current, is we're using 16 gauge wire for a 100-foot run with the LEDs, and it's not only the lower cost of the wire that's a big savings, it's the space, it's the ease and flexibility of the wire, but it's also, this is just thin enough to go in a normal cut of the concrete saw, whereas a 12 gauge or a 10 gauge would be absolutely hopeless in this situation. So it makes going across the driveway extremely easy. You can just see, just punching it in with a screwdriver, and not the end of the world that if it ever popped up, but we're going to dab a little bit of thin set mortar on top, and it's also quite easy to pop down again. But what will typically happen, as long as we go down at least half an inch, is a little bit of sediment and dirt will run over top, and pretty soon you won't be able to get it up very easily even if you want to. But if you need to, you just come over here and pull it right out of this crack. So I really like that. I like that feature. Now these are the LEDs I'm going to be using for the fixtures, and in a 2-pack I believe I paid about $3.50 a piece for them, which is less than I was paying for halogens a few years back. But this LED, as you can see, saves 85% of electricity, and for a couple of watts it's going to replace 20 watts. And then the fixtures that I've chosen are these Malibu pathway lights. And I always ask clients, is the light itself important, or is the light fixture important? Because these will be very inconspicuous during the day, and so you're just not going to notice them. But at night they'll provide just as much light as a normal fixture. And I think we have these on the buy low portion of the site, because I often get them, and I think buying them via Amazon, as I got these, was a little bit less than Home Depot, but of course the biggest savings is just the hassle of waiting in line at Home Depot. So so that's what we're going to do here, and I like the snap-on feature. But from a maintenance point of view, since I'm a small company, I also like the fact that, worst case scenario, one of these fixtures gets driven on and knocked over and the client wants a new one, I can just send them to any local hardware store. This fixture has been around for a while, and they're so cheap at around $12-15, something like that, that it's less than the cost of the postage to mail in a fancy $85 or $200 brass fixture, and then wait 4 to 6 weeks, make another trip back to the site to take it back. And these have the little quick connects. So this is definitely an area where I see overall a client getting more value, me making more money, and saving time by using a very generic low-cost fixture. I keep a couple of them in my shop at all times, and anytime anyone has a problem, I just throw a fixture in the truck, and next time I'm driving by that site I can pop it in with 5 or 10 minutes.